I'm Mrs. Kessers from Wall Street High School, and this section is on transformations of some basic curves. So, the first thing that you want to know are all of the parent functions. So there are 4 of them. You have to know these. So when you first think, the first parent function that you want to think of is x squared. So that's going to be our parabola. And it's going to look something like this upside, or this, not upside down, but the actual smiley face. Alright, the next one is we've got f of x equals x cubed. Now this is a cubic function. I like to call him squigs because he's a little bit of a squiggle line. So we got squigs as our x cubed. Then we have our f of x, which is going to be the absolute value of x. That's going to be our v. So that's our absolute value. Then we have f of x equals radical x, or the square root of x, and I think of this as being an eyebrow. Okay? So we have our smiley face, squigs, v, and eyebrow. You need to know those 4 to be successful in this topic. So first, we need a t-values. Okay, so our parent functions, these are the 3 parent functions I just talked about. There are 3 of them, and here's the 4th one. So when you're using the parent functions of x squared, x cubed, absolute value of x, you want to go -2 to 2. Then when you're using the parent function of radical x, this is the only one that's different, you want to use the numbers 0, 1, and 4. Now I'm going to explain to you what I mean by -2 to 2 and 0, 1, and 4 in just 1 second. But you need to make sure that you know for these 3, you want to go -2 to 2. Radical x is the only one that's weird, which is 0, 1, and 4. Now, creating and graphing these transformations. So these are the 3 steps that I want you to do, and then if we were given a function. So identify the parent function. You want to look at it and say, what's the weird thing about this? The weird thing about this function is this cubed right here. So my parent function is x cubed. Okay? So create a t-chart. Because I have x cubed, I want to go from -2 to 2, which is what I have right here. So I have from -2 to 2. Then it says work left to right and inside out. What I mean by that is I want you to write inside out. Even if you just put I and O, that's fine. Inside out and work left to right. So I'm going to rewrite my function down here so I can see it. I have f of x equals x minus 2 cubed plus 3. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to look at this, and the thing that is the parent function, that's what I want you to get first. So I need to cube everything. Okay? So that means I want to take everything that's here, it's on the outside, so I'm going to cube all of these. So I'm going to have -8, -1, 0, 1, and 8. Because all I'm doing is cubing these numbers. So that is going to be my x cubed. Okay? So then the next thing that I'm going to go through, here's my inside and here's my out. Now I'm done with my x cubed. Okay? The next thing, when I'm working left to right, the thing that I come across is this -2. Okay? So because it is on the inside of my parentheses, I want it on the inside. Now the only thing is when I do insides, I need to do the opposite of the inside. Okay? So the opposite of the inside, so that means I'm subtracting 2, so I want to add 2. I want to add 2 to everything here. Okay? So this is my inside numbers. I want to go through and I want to add 2 to all of them. So that means I'm going to have 0, then -1 plus 2 gives me 1, 2, 3, 4. Do not touch these numbers right here because they're on my outside. So I have -8, -1, 0, 1, and 8. So that means here's my x still, and the thing that I did to it was I have this done, so you can cross that out. So that means I have x minus 2 cubed. Alright, and then don't forget about this plus 3 here. Now this plus 3 is on the outside, so that means I want to add 3 to the outsides. You do the same as the outsides, but the opposite of the insides. So I have my t-chart, I have x, and then the thing that I just did was x minus 2, I have cubed, then I'm adding 3. So keep these numbers the same, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I need to add 3 to all of these, so I'm going to have -5. -1 plus 3 is going to give me 2. Then I have 3, 4, and 11. Last part is graph. So my t-chart that worked is this one right here. This is my final t-chart because I have everything. So these are going to be my points. Okay, 0, -5. 0, -5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is right here. Then I have 1, 2. So 1, 2. Then I have 2, 3. 2, 3. Then I have 3, 4. And then 4, 11, which would be somewhere up here. So here is my graph. And then I can draw my arrow down here. And because it was x cubed, it should be that cubic function, which is squigs, and that's what we got. So that's going to be how I want to graph. So when I'm grading you on a test or a quiz, I want to look for this final t-chart and then also that graph right there. All right, let's go ahead and do one more. So again, we're graphing transformation. Then I have f of x equals 2 radical x minus 5. Identify the parent function. The thing that looks weird is that radical x. So right when you say that radical x, you create a t-chart. Because it's radical, that's when you want to use 0, 1, and 4. So I got 0, 1, and 4 there. And the first thing that you do whenever you do these transformations is you have to use that parent function. So write that parent function up there, which is radical x. So I'm going to take the radicals of all of these numbers. Okay, so radical of 0 is 0, radical of 1 is 1, radical of 4 is 2. And that's why I want to use 0, 1, and 4 because they are perfect squares. All right, so if I rewrite my f of x equals 2 radical x minus 5. So I have my inside out. So the first thing that I come across, working left to right, is this 2 right here. So I want to put x, and then I'm going to have 2 radical x. So here's my inside and my outside. The 2 is on the outside. If it were on the inside, it'd be on the inside of the radical. It's on the outside, so you keep your insides the same, 0, 1, 4. Then, because I am multiplying on the outside, I want to multiply my outside numbers by 2. So I get 0, 2, and 4. Then the next step, so I have inside out. These are both gone. The thing that I come across next is this minus 5. So now I have 2 radical x minus 5. I have x right here. Here's my inside out. It is on the outside, and I'm subtracting 5. So I want to subtract 5 from all of these. You keep your inside numbers the same, 0, 1, and 4. Subtract 5. So you have negative 5, negative 3, negative 1. So here this is my final t-chart. These are my points. So 0, negative 5, 0, negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I have 1, negative 3. So 1, negative 3. Then I have 4, negative 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 1. Now, because this is this eyebrow, you always start on this left point right here, and you just go up and out. You never want to go down, and you do not have an arrow on this one. This first point, this one right here, is always the beginning point, and you just go over and then put your arrow at the end. All right, so if you have any questions, please stop in the math office and come and see me, or you can email me at kesterz@walshtreasure.org. I'll see you in class.